Hi, welcome to Good News Glynn. I'm your host, Avery Brooks, and I'm here with Mr. Bill Fallon. And we are in the month of November. So we're talking about good news for the month of November. Tell us about that.
Well, it's November, and hopefully the storms are all behind us. We had a pretty busy kind of storm season this year. We started back in July, and then obviously Helene was really the tough one for us. Milton, luckily for us, didn't really turn out to be much here. Stayed down in Florida, but it's good to be November. Hopefully we're out of the woods at this point, which I think we are. And now we got to look forward to a lot of good things that are coming up over the holidays in Glynn County.
Yes. Do you want to touch on some of those? I know we've got two guests today, Commissioner David Sweat and Resden Talbert. So we'll get to that. But is there anything you want to talk about as?
Sure.
You know, yeah.
Well, we'll talk business first, and then we'll talk some of the fun stuff that we have coming up. So as far as business goes, we just got done with our SPLOST quarterly execution reviews. That went over great. Again, a lot of good information that's out there. So again, we do that every 6 months. We do one on SPLOST. And then in February, we'll actually do one on our strategic plan. And then after February, we'll do it again in August. So we have that kind of that schedule, that rotation going on as far as our quarterly execution reviews. The one on SPLOST went fantastic. We had a lot of good input, totally transparent. In fact, we're starting to show some of these projects really taking shape and getting started. We had, if you go on the county's website, you'll actually see through our Achieve It program, just really all the details you need to see about all our programs, to include cost, to include the stages where they are, due dates, that type of stuff. And so again, just the total transparency. We actually had somebody who had served on the former oversight committee that attended the last SPLOST quarterly execution review. He was very complimentary of our process. He said he wished that we had this process in place back when he was on the oversight committee. He said it was very productive. He likes the way that we're managing all the projects now, not only the 2022 projects, finishing up some of those 2016 projects that we're still hanging out there. So we're on a great trajectory to move forward to get these things done. And in fact, we're going to have even more start to pop up here in 2025, calendar year 2025. And again, we're starting these projects based on a schedule that we put together based on the money that actually comes in. And so we've been collecting since April of 2023. So now we've been going strong for the last year and a half, able to collect those SPLOST revenues. And so we're putting them right towards those projects and getting them accomplished.
Yes, it's so exciting to see, as you said, the money came in and finally you're kind of being able to execute the plan and getting things done. So instead of just coming to the meeting and saying, oh, well, we're thinking about this, we're going to do this, you're doing it and people are seeing it and it's happening. So that is very exciting.
Yeah, the execution is there. So our staff, they're working very hard, and we're starting to see more bids. The biggest challenge that we have is the price on all these projects. A lot of things changed since we got the prices originally, and we really tried our best to get the accurate pricing. But we're finding ways through other grants and other pots of money that we have to be able to complete these projects. So they're all going well. Another big event, we had the election, obviously, just recently. So a lot happening on the national stage, but here locally, all we had was one change in seats. And Commissioner Fendig is retiring, as you well know, and then Commissioner Duncan's coming in. So we're going to have him in sometime this month to kind of do an orientation, and then he has a big orientation that he has to do up in Athens with the state as well. So that's kind of big news as far as what's happening here. There's some other things going on. I do want to mention that we have several boards out there. So if there's citizens out there that want to get engaged and really start to contribute here at Glynn County, we do have 3 different boards that have some seats that we're going to be advertising for, and you can look for those. First one is the Dangerous Dog Hearing Board. There's a lot of people that are interested in our animal services office and our capabilities there, but that's a good one to get involved in if somebody wants to do that. There's also the Coastal African American Historic Preservation Commission. We have 2 seats that are open there, so look at that. And then our Island and Mainland Planning Commission seats are going to be up as well, so people can take a look at those. So those are all some good things that are happening, but also things that are happening for people to get involved with Glynn County.
Yes, I'm so glad you mentioned that because we talk about the people that are already there and what a great job they're doing, but to realize citizens can get involved and there's a place for them is exciting. I know those things are of interest to a lot of people, the ones you just mentioned. Can people go on the website and find out about those? Yes.
Yeah, you can, or you can contact the clerk here, Rhonda. You can contact our county clerk. But no, you can find everything online on the website. And in fact, I think Katie mentioned last month we're going to be rolling out a new website design here pretty soon. So hopefully that comes out this month sometime in November. But we're pretty anxious about getting that up and running, just to make, again, one of our first goals that the commissioners want is to make doing business with Glynn County easier. So I think having that new and improved website is going to help us do that.
Yes, absolutely. We look forward to seeing that. Anything else?
Yeah, so we got some stuff coming up. So we got the holiday tree lighting over on St. Simon's. That's going to happen on December 3rd. We also have Santa Paws and then a Santa Cinema, both over at the casino over in the island that same week. So I think December 5th and December 6th. And then the police department and the fire department actually they're going to do another Christmas with Santa and the Grinch. And so very popular last year, if you recall. They went around the neighborhoods within Glynn County, and we had the fire truck. We actually had some police vehicles out there. So we had the Grinch riding in the back of a police car, and then we had Santa up on top of one of the fire engines. And we just went around the different neighborhoods. The kids loved it. People loved it. We're going to do it again. We're going to expand that because we got a lot of requests to do it in other neighborhoods. And so we're going to probably do that pretty much probably at least the last 3 weeks or the first 3 weeks, I guess, in December, leading up to Christmas. So we're pretty excited about that because it was just a fantastic program that we did for the kids. And I know that Chief Ebner and Chief DeCristofalo have some new ideas to make that a little bit more fun this year as well. And then the last thing I'll mention before I turn it over to our other folks that are going to talk to you, we just participated in the Buckingham Terrace wiffle ball tournament over the weekend, and I'm glad to say that our Glynn County team went undefeated, and so we were able to play some wiffle ball for a good cause and a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, now that's good to hear. That's the best.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All good stuff. And so I know you're going to hear from Resden Talbert, who is our kind of our director over all our projects right now. So he's actually helping us with not only procurement, but we've asked him to help with procurement related to the projects that we have. So all our SPLOST projects, capital projects, he really has been doing a good job working with his team to make sure that a lot of these things, when we put them out to bid, these big projects come in at budget or close to it, working with the contractors that are out there, trying to get more bids, that type of stuff. So I don't want to steal too much of what he's going to say, but I'm sure he's going to be able to talk to that. And the wiffle ball tournament was actually, we were coached by Commissioner Sweat. So Commissioner Sweat's coming on to talk about all the good things that are going on in his district. And he's been fantastic as a commissioner, very engaged, very smart, and really has been an asset to us here at the staff and everybody within Glynn County. So look, I'm sure you're looking forward to hearing from them.
Yes, looking forward to that. I know he's from here, which is exciting. He's written a book, exciting. So yeah, can't wait to talk to him as well. Yeah, we look forward to it.
All right. Well, I'm good, and I'll talk to you again in December.
Sounds great. We look forward to it as always. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Avery.
Okay. Bye. Welcome back to Good News Glynn. I am so excited to introduce David Sweat. He is a commissioner for Glynn County. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Avery. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. We're thrilled to have you. We've heard nothing but good stuff about you.
So, oh, goodness.
And I know I've spoken with you in the past about maybe doing a piece for your book. So,
yeah.
So we'll get to all that. But I just,
right.
Yes. But tell us about yourself.
Great. Well, thank you. David Sweat, District 4 Commissioner, born and raised in Brunswick, Georgia. And by the way, District 4 roughly goes from about the hospital area to northward out to Glencoe Parkway. So I grew up in this area. So I have, almost 70 years of personal history and, where I grew up. And I'm a proud Brunswick High Pirate graduate. and a graduate of the Terry School of Business at the University of Georgia with a degree in finance. And my career has primarily been in banking. I have both worked for regional sized banks and community banks, primarily as a senior commercial business developer lender. And also I have 15 years of federal service as a bank examiner. And that's actually what I retired from. Wow. So it's a pleasure to be in my hometown and to serve our community.
Tell us about some of the history, since you've been here so long. You've got stories and history and all of that. So let's jump into some of that history of the area.
Sure.
We can talk about community engagement, your alumni
Sure.
with BHS, and then of course your book.
Yeah. So I'll just take off and roll.
Sure.
You stop me when I need to.
Oh, okay.
So yes, I grew up in the Goodyear Park area, part of Brunswick, and I'm a commissioner whose district transcends both unincorporated Glynn County and part of the city of Brunswick. Most of Goodyear Park and Riverside, that's in the city of Brunswick. So I was growing up before the college was located in District 4. So that goes back a ways.
Yes.
And as I mentioned, Brunswick High School. And so Brunswick High School, the college, and the hospital, that's kind of at the heart of District 4. If you think about all the residents that work and come and go every day in that area. Mm-hmm. So I've seen a lot of change. And, throughout that, a corridor, one of the primary corridors in Brunswick and Glynn County is Glynn Avenue. And Glynn Avenue is part of District 4. And for this, I'm talking mainly from where the spur intersects with Glynn Avenue down to the causeway. And that's primarily been industrial purposes my entire life, especially on the marsh side of Glynn Avenue. So as fate would have it, that has changed largely with the closure of the Panova factory recently. So what has been a single purpose for most of my life and most of the residents of Glynn County is now going to change. So that's an interesting thing that is a part of District 4. And let me touch on several ways that I engage with the community. We have Goodyear Park NPA meetings monthly, and I attend that. I am the Board of Commissioners liaison to the Convention and Visitors Bureau board, and I'm in touch with much that is going on for example, our islands and our gateways that involve the CVB. Other ways, I'm very active in the community through my church. Also, I organized and formed a group for the Brunswick High School football letterman 3 years ago in 2021. And what we do is we stay active with the current Pirates. Once a week during the season, we serve them freshly prepared food, and we're able to engage with these young men. And we just want them to know that there's a larger family and that we've been through much of what they're going through. So I really enjoy that. We named the group the BHS Soul Survivors.
Nice.
So that's probably some of the key areas that now I'm part of a larger group. I am the District 4 commissioner, but the Board of Commissioners as a whole is countywide. And so I'm serving Glynn County as a whole as well. And we regularly consult with each other. We have small group meetings from time to time. And of course, we have our regular meetings. So it's important that I know not only what's happening in District 4, but countywide. So I've really enjoyed, I'm reaching near the end of my first 2 years. So I have a little more than 2 years to go in my initial term.
Wow. Yeah, you are very busy. I'll say that. Maybe more for you to do.
Yeah. Let me touch back real quick to the book project.
Yeah, I would love
Yes, I was just inspired, and it's a perfect segue to the Glynn Avenue area that we're talking about because the ballpark is close by. But Brunswick and Glynn County has a history with professional baseball, and most people did not know that. And in my earliest memories, I remember going to some of the ball games, and it's just been fascinating to research that. It was a community experience. We have institutions that honor primarily people that grew up here and went to school here, but this was an experience where the athletes came from all over the United States, and it was affiliated with Pittsburgh Pirates. So we had sort of a national affiliation going on right here in Brunswick, Georgia. So it's been fascinating, and I look forward to making that available to everybody on November 23rd. It'll be available.
Wow. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
That's wonderful. Wow. I know you've been working on that, and that's such a great project. So we're excited.
There are so many people that those memories are precious to, and if you were a witness to those events firsthand, you're getting on up there in years now.
Yes.
So it's never been written about, and I just decided to go all in on it. I'd say 3 miles deep. It's 343 pages, all hardback, and I'm very happy to have completed this project.
That's awesome. Are you going to have book signings, or you want to throw that out there? Yeah.
Great question. I really wanted to do this in a personal and folksy, what do we call it, folksy way.
Okay.
I'm not offering it online, not paperback. And the Coastal Georgia Historical Society has been kind enough to allow me to have my first signing event on November 23rd, Saturday, November 23rd.
Okay.
And I'll be there to greet a lot of old friends and people I've never met before, and sign my book. And it's optional if they want to stay. I'm going to give about a 30-minute talk about the project itself, which is, it's interesting how you accumulate this information. So, yeah, I'm quite excited about it. Thank you. And I hope that people can turn out if they can, but I will continue to sell it after the November 23rd event.
Okay. Awesome. That is very exciting. So mark your calendars, Saturday, November 23rd.
Did I say it will be at the Lighthouse at the Coastal Georgia Historical Society Museum on Beachview Drive, St. Simon's Island, beginning at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
That. Yes. Yes, we talked about, we segued from Glen Avenue, the corridor, being a gateway, really.
Yes. Can I talk about that just a little bit more?
Talk about that.
It's actually, I struggle to put into words what it is in terms of, is it a gateway? Well, it certainly is that, but it feels like more than me. For many people, if you're traveling off of the interstate and you come down the spur and your destination may not be in town in Brunswick, it's the face. It is the face of Brunswick that you're going to pass through. Let's say if you're going to the islands. So it's very important. It's a real hub. If you go from the spur to the causeway, the daily traffic count right now is 35,000 automobiles daily.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yes.
For Glynn County.
Yes.
It's almost staggering to me to think that. And that 2.5 mile stretch, it has some of the most beautiful marshes that we have to offer in Glynn County.
Mm-hmm.
But to this point, you don't get a chance to see much of that.
Mm-hmm.
But with the opportunity that we have, maybe we can make that more open so that it is enjoyed by both residents, and visitors. That would be one of my hopes, part of the vision.
Yes.
That would happen.
Yes.
Now, so you have that, and then you have on the west side of Glen Avenue is a much larger swath of land, over there. As a leader in Glynn County, we meet regularly and we conduct what we call the business of the people in our, regular meetings. But every now and then, fate comes in, and it's almost like in the case of the area that we're talking about, in the Panova area, and then across the street on the Marsh side, it's like being asked, would you like to participate in changing the face of Brunswick and Glynn County from what it had been for, let's say, 100 years?
Mhm.
You have it. There's a chance to bring forth a different vision. So I look at our opportunities that come along once every so often is to inspire and share a vision.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this case, I'm very excited about that. And I don't want to get down into specifics, but I'll say this. I think green space is very important,
Mm-hmm.
and is part of the vision discussions that I've been a part of. Green space.
Mm-hmm. Few people can, first of all, so eloquently put that vision into words, and then certainly take it a step further into an action plan to make that vision come to life. So I love the way you explain that, and I feel the same way, and I know everybody else feels that way, but it's like we need people like you to make it happen, right?
Well, I've learned, I tell you, Avery, that I've learned it's not like you kind of sit down and think about it one day and then it just kind of all rolls out. It's, you present your ideas bit by bit, and some things don't stay on the board, so to speak, but hopefully in the end you have something that has sort of funneled together as, this is what will have the most impact.
Yes.
And the people that I work with, both on Glynn County staff, County Manager Bill Fallon, and many others, as well as my fellow commissioners, they're very helpful, and they're a great sounding board. So I'm excited about what kind of ideas we might come forward with.
Yes. As we say, Team Glynn, there's a lot of great people working together, and things are happening. So it's an exciting time to be a commissioner and to be here in Glynn County. Anyway, you do a great job.
Well, thank you. I
with all
appreciate
of
it.
your boards, and we appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Avery. I look forward to coming back sometime in the future.
Yes, absolutely. And good luck with your book. We'll be cheering for you, and can't wait to read it. And we appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Stay tuned. Resden Talbert is coming up next. Welcome back to Good News Glynn. I'm here with Resden Talbert. We're so excited to have you. Welcome.
Thank you, Avery. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. So let's start off. Tell us your official title, and then we'll kind of talk about what that means to you and to Glynn County.
Yes, ma'am. So my official title is the Director of Capital Development and Procurement.
Okay. That's kind of a mouthful.
It is.
So let's talk about that. I know, well, first, before we jump into that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I've been with Glynn County for about 17 years. A few years ago, I started as the procurement officer for the county, and then my role officially changed July of this year.
Interesting. Okay. Nice. So what exactly does this mean? I know SPLOST is, so Mr. Fallon sort of put it simply, you're in charge of projects, right? And so SPLOST obviously is a big one. There are, multiple projects, but tell us a little bit about the status of the projects in Glynn County, and just kind of describe what's going on with these projects.
Sure. So my role provides oversight of procurement, engineering, and program management, and business integration, which manages our SPLOST project. And so we do have a lot of projects right now. So in total, we have over 52 projects going on, from large infrastructure SPLOST projects to smaller capital projects. Across Glynn County, we've got some ARPA projects going on. And so we are busy. And so we're going to be seeing a lot of shovels in the ground here soon. So I could spend all day talking about projects, but some of the big ones I wanted to kind of discuss going into it was one of them is going to be College Park. That is a large drainage project. So if you've ever driven around College Park after a storm, they've got some drainage issues in there with water. And so that is a multi-phase project. And so we are tackling phase 1 and phase 2 right now. And so the commission just awarded a contract for phase 1. And so that consists of laying pipe down the spur. It goes from Altama to the outfall off of Highway 17 in the spur. And then the second phase is actually addressing the drainage inside College Park. So once that gets going, that'll provide immense relief to that neighborhood. And
yes.
so,
yes.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say, I know drainage is a big issue, especially right there. So that's great to hear. I've talked to Mr. Fallon before about, people want to hear about the projects, but they also want to see that they're being done, that you're actually taking the SPLOST money and putting it where it's supposed to be. So it's always good to hear that projects are underway and you're seeing results.
Yes, ma'am. And so another big SPLOST project we have is the Gateway project. And so we've actually combined 2 projects into one. We've got the Gateway project on the St. Simons Island, and then Demery Road, a drainage improvement project there for that first portion of Demery Road when you come onto the island. And so if you've ever driven on the island or off the island, early in the morning or in the afternoon, you probably sat in traffic. And so what this is set to do is to provide some relief, to improve that traffic flow and some improvements in the area. And so we've got a project management firm under contract, and we should be awarding a contract for design next week. And so that project will start, and hopefully in about a year and a half, we'll start to see some construction start.
Okay, awesome. Okay, let's keep going. So College Park, Gateway, Coast Guard.
Yes, so Coast Guard. So that's a big project we have where we are redesigning the parking lot area. So right now there's a small portion is paved, and then the rest is dirt. So that is developing that parking lot area, that landscape. And then we are constructing a building and life-saving tower, a 3-story life-saving tower for our Coast Guards. Sometimes there are safety concerns out there on the beach, so that will give them the tools that they need. That will spruce up that area. It's a big tourist attraction, a lot of tourists coming in and accessing the beach through that park. So that's a big project that should hopefully be started here in the next month or 2 for construction. It's been fully designed, and so we just put that out to bid. We had bids opening last week, and so we hope to get started on that soon.
That's exciting. Yeah, I know Commissioner Cap Fendig has mentioned that before, and some improvements there and others. So that's exciting. Yes, yes. Okay, and the juvenile justice.
So the juvenile justice is one of our big capital projects. And so our juvenile justice or our juvenile court has kind of grown out of the building that they're in currently. And it's an older building that they're in. And so that facility has been designed. It's going right next to the Harold Pate building in that big open lot where the jail used to be at. Yes. And so that was, we have that design. We're going to be putting that out for construction here in the next few weeks. And so hopefully into December, early January, we're going to start construction on that project. So that will be nice. That will help develop this campus down here. We've got the Harold Pate building, we've got the courthouse, the historic courthouse, and now we'll have the Juvenile Justice Center as well. Okay. So that's what we're excited for. I know the courts are excited to expand into it. Our juvenile court does a lot of programs as well, and that will give them not only the courtroom space they need, but also some space for some of their additional programs that they do out of there.
Right. Yes. One question before we move on. What percentage of these projects are infrastructure versus drainage versus green space versus traffic? Is there, you could just name one category. If you're looking at a pie, would it be, 75% is infrastructure? What would you say?
That's a good question. I've never been asked that question. I'd probably say 60 to 70% would be infrastructure, drainage, roadway improvements. the long overdue projects that are needed to impact, public transportation, drainage, things like that. So I'd say probably 60-70%. We do have a couple bigger projects, SPLOST projects as well, developing and designing and building a new fire station. So our chief, Vincent DiCristofalo, he did an analysis of response time for the fire department. There was a void out near the 17 Altama Chapel Crossing area. And so we programmed in SPLOST 22 to design and build a new firehouse. And it's going to go right on the corner of 17 and Chapel Crossing. So FLETC donated a couple acres to Glynn County. And so that's getting started. We just awarded a design contract. And so hopefully in 9 to 12 months, we will be shovels in the ground in building that. And then also another facility project is a new public safety multi-use facility. And so that will go out by the police department, out by the GSP post, animal control, and that will incorporate a new emergency operations center as well. So those are two big building projects that we have that are programmed in SPLOST as well.
Yes, we've had some other commissioners and like you said, the fire chief and different people have spoken about that specific project. So that's exciting and obviously a need in that area. Okay, let's see. I was going to say about green space and sidewalks and parks. I guess that would all fall under the recreation department. Would that be right?
Yeah, that's a good analysis. We have several park projects. We have quite a few sidewalk projects as well. Mm-hmm. And so we've Lisa Garganis is our recreation and parks director. So she's been working on park improvements in Glynn County. I believe Selden, Ballard. There's several parks that we have in SPLOST 2022, programming some improvements to those. And then we have quite a bit of sidewalks.
Yes, I've just noticed more and more bike riders, bicyclists on the island, and in places, large groups of them actually, in places where there are no sidewalks. So people are trying to get from point A to point B, and I think it's a little tricky without those sidewalks. So I'm sure that's in the works.
It can be. So I'll tell you a good one, a critical one on the island is Arnold Road. So we are working on that. We're in property acquisition. Design is pretty much completed on that. And so once we get past property acquisition, we'll start construction and addressing that portion of Arnold Road between Ocean and Demery. So that's a much needed project that we're moving forward with.
Right. Yes. We always want to remind people that when you talk about these projects, they're in the works. The SPLOST money is being used wisely and appropriately, but the projects take time. So do you want to speak a little bit about that for people to be conscious of all of those things?
Sure. So one of the biggest critiques we heard going into SPLOST 2022 from SPLOST 2016 was transparency, the timeline. And so we've made a big push and commitment towards transparency with these projects. We hold QERs, quarterly executive reviews. We hold town halls where the public can come in. We've got an outward facing website that basically, if you log in, you can see anything you want about these projects, where we are, what funds have been expended. And so our goal is to deliver a quality project within budget and within a approved schedule. So we want to make sure these projects are moving forward. They're being designed to a specific standard. We want to produce a quality, lasting project and be fiscally responsible as well, making sure that we're putting things out to bid. We're vetting these bids. We're getting the best deal. We want to be good stewards of taxpayer money and provide a lasting project, to the citizens of Glynn County. So we make sure it's done right, but at the same time, we're making sure that we're getting forward movement on them at the same time, while remaining transparent and answering any questions. That way there's nothing hidden out there. We're putting all that information out.
Yes. No, there's been a huge change. That's, to me, been the biggest change recently in the past, say, couple of years, where everything is so transparent. The new website, the show, for example, the quarterly reviews, so many different ways to get information. Yes, it's excellent. So it's a big job. Each individual department has its own responsibilities and list of things they need to accomplish. But then in addition to that, to sort of be able to share that with the public. It's all good, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot because people may call you directly. So if people wanted to find out more specifics about these projects that we were talking about today, what is the best way to do that?
So the best way, the easiest way is if you go onto our website, you're able to access our SPLOST 2016 list, our SPLOST 2022 list, and our capital projects list. And if you log in there, it will show you updates. It will show you what funds have been expended. And it's very accessible. It's very easy. And it's as simple as just, logging into your computer and going to that website at any point in time. So Jason Hagan is our program manager when it comes to SPLOST projects. He's very accessible. Anytime you can call him, you can call myself, and we'd be more than willing to, sit down and talk through something or point you in the right direction.
Yes, absolutely. So check out the website, SPLOST 2016, and find out all the information. Would someone find photographs or any sort of image, visual image of the projects on the website?
Yes, absolutely. So I know you heard the cliche saying that a picture's worth 1,000 words. And so every project will have pictures. There's several that have drone footage so you can log in. Our GIS is really good with going out to these project locations. There's a great one on the roundabout, Glencoe at Canal Road. They just put a video up on that. So that's an interesting one to see as that project's developing. So lots of pictures and lots of videos. So yes, ma'am, check it out.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think that would maybe draw people too as well. So that's great. Yeah, I once again always impressed with Team Glynn, everything that you're doing and sharing it with the public, keeping everybody informed. It's all good news.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up?
No, happy to be here. I appreciate the interest. We're doing our best to make sure that we're moving these projects forward. Next time we meet, I'm sure we'll have several in the construction phase or getting close to being completed. So we're definitely excited to see a lot of these projects officially kick off. It's one thing for them to be in design, but when you actually see construction starting, that's a whole nother. So we're definitely excited to see these projects come to fruition.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we look forward to all of that, and we appreciate your time today, and thank you for your good work.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Avery.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. So once again, we really appreciate you doing this for us, Avery. There's so much good news that we get to talk about here at Glynn County. All the great things that we're doing, all the challenges that we have too. So it's not all good all the time, but we're trying to make it good all the time as much as we can. And so we're excited about the holiday season coming up. It doesn't slow us down though. We still have a lot to do. We still are out there cleaning up debris. There's all kinds of stuff. All of the functions of county government that is being done even throughout the holidays. But either way, I know we're going to have some fun over the next few weeks, and look forward to seeing you in December.
Sounds great. Thank you. That's it for this episode of Good News Glynn. Stay tuned for more Golden Isles TV coming up next.